Hello everyone, ShadowRock here with more of a fun Mighty Gunvolt Burst video today. So, when I was streaming the other day, someone in the chat was like, well, you probably can't recreate the Mighty number 9 weapons in this game, and well, he's basically right. But I took the challenge upon myself to try to recreate at least as many Mighty number 9 weapons as I possibly could. And what I'm talking about is like the special weapons that Beck could use after he got the powers from each of the Mighty numbers. So let's start off with Pyrogen here. So, just to show it off real quick, don't worry about this is literally just for placeholders purposes. But like in Mighty number 9, to actually use the weapon he had to charge it up. So the best I could do for this is just use the fusion. And it just makes a giant explosion, kind of like how it does in Mighty number 9. So there you go. So this part isn't actually important, but to take a look at the actual weapon itself, here's the charge shot that I used. So we had bullet type fire, 3 bullets, you could even make it 5 if you wanted to. But you're gonna have to make that the shield, trajectory straight, speed fast, and piercing so it can hit everything. Duration, very short duration because we want it to explode as soon as it goes off. Diffusion again, so we pick that, and I had an 8. It's very expensive though, so you can settle for 4 if you're running on a budget on your CP. Bullet size is large, you can raise your attack power as much as you need to. And of course the element is heat. I don't think I did anything else besides that. So yeah, that's our first weapon there. And then we have Cryosphere. So just to demo it, just like in Mighty number 9, it curves downward. And to do this I had to use the bouncing option. But unfortunately, the elements don't really do anything special like I said in the other video. So we're not going to be able to freeze anyone, unfortunately, so this weapon loses a lot of its utility because of that. But just to show, I had Cristal, 3 bullets, single fire, and of course I need bounce. I tried to use the curve option, but for some reason the curve option is not even available for Cristal, which is very weird to me. But bounce works. And in order to make it to where it actually goes through the floor like that, instead of bouncing up, I had to put it on the gamma type piercing, so it goes through the floor and the enemies. So that is pretty important when you want to recreate this weapon. And I should also say, a lot of these weapons actually suck as far as like usefulness, but I was trying to be as faithful as possible to the original weapons. But anyway, we have Dissipate, well that's the standard option. I made the bullet size large because why not? The element is freeze, and something that might be useful to you with this weapon is the diagonal fire. So if I press up on the D-pad, I can kind of curve it like that. And I can press down to shoot it way down, so that might help you to hit things a lot easier. But other than that, that's Cryosphere's weapon. And now we have Dynatron. So I had to get a little creative with this one, because in the original Mighty number 9 game, it was basically like a spread shot, but it was supposed to latch on to enemies and slowly drain their health. Can't really do that in this game, so I just had it to where they just hang for like a second and then eventually come back to you. And the way I did that was by using the return option. So I have 5 bullets, spread shot, return. And then speed is average. I had duration super high, so it wouldn't like dissipate really quickly. The bullet size is small because in Mighty number 9, the projectiles themselves are actually really small too. And then of course shock. Now let's be honest here, Seismic is not going to be able to appear in this game, at least his weapon, because in that game you basically transform into like this construction robot. And you could like dash into enemies or jump on them to deal damage. Can't do that in this game. So I decided to do something a little bit more fun, a little bit more realistic, and recreate the drill weapon from Megaman X3. Of course, in Megaman X3 you had to press the button a few times to actually get the 3 drills going, but there you go. This is Tunnel Rhino's weapon for Megaman X3. I just remembered his name. So we have the drill, on-streak bullets 3, cluster shot, slow type speed, just kind of trying to recreate it there. And also make it go through terrain. Duration 5 seconds, bullet size medium, and attack power, you know, you always want to have that attack power if you can afford it. And then the element is smash, of course. That's Seismic's weapon, or element of choice. And now we have Battalion. So, just like in my number 9, I can shoot, and then I can press the attack button again to detonate it, and it'll explode. So this is probably the most faithful recreation of it being able to do in this game. But yeah, just like in my number 9, it's only one bullet, single fire, straight, speed is average, duration 5 seconds, just so it can like go as far as you need it to. And then we have the explosion here. And this weapon type in particular can be like large explosions with like 5 explosions, so it is pretty potent. Pretty explosive, I would say. Its bullet size is large, attack power is important, and the impact element. I also have the shot stopper on here, and this is important when you want to recreate this weapon, because this is what will allow you to press the attack button a second time to actually detonate it in midair, as you can see. So don't forget that one. And that's it. Now we're going on to Aviator. So this one is actually probably the worst weapon, but for the sake of being faithful to it, basically like in my number 9, it just kind of goes up in a curve. Not really in a curve, because in my number 9 it worked a little bit differently than that, but this is the closest I could get it to do. And of course it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. I increased the attack power as much as I could. But of course, only being able to do one shot at a time really hurts it. Of course, you know, if you really wanted to, you can raise the bullet count when you're actually trying to use it in the game. I was just trying to show you what it would probably look like in this game. But anyway, we have the method of fire of single fire, trajectory is curve. Let's see if we can look at those options. I put break time as fast and curve speed as normal. Speed is average, and then piercing is kind of important. Duration's fine. Bullet size is large, because it is pretty large in the game. And then the element is press. And yeah, like I said, put the attack power as much as I would. But in my number 9, you could use this weapon to kind of hover. So I did add the air dash in here to kind of recreate that utility of it. So there you go. That's pretty much Obby's weapon. And now we have Brandish, and you might notice he has a charged shot as well, just like in the original game. So basically, you might remember my number 9 that you literally use the sword to kind of slice the enemy. So I made this really short range projectile, and it does a pretty good job at taking out enemies as long as they're very close to you. So to do that, I made this the blade type of 5 bullets, method of fire, single fire, trajectory return, speed fast, piercing, duration, very short duration, so it doesn't like go too far. Right, like I said, I was trying to be very faithful to the weapon that was very short range. And the bullet size is large, with some attack power in there, and the slicer element. Now I do have a charge shot, so let's take a look at that. If I charge it up, yeah, so in my number 9, it was basically Beck would spin in circles and do this crazy spin slash attack. But you can't really do that in this game, so the best I could come up with was a very short range diffusion. So obviously it's not exactly 1-to-1. None of these are really. But you do what you gotta do. But I'll at least show you the charged shot I came up with. So it's only one bullet. Method fire, single fire, trajectory straight, speed slow, no piercing, Duration is very short again. Bullet size is large. Some extra attack power in there, and Slicer Helmet. And that does it for Brandish. Now for Counter Shade. And this is probably the other most faithful one I've been able to recreate. So let's take a look at it. First of all, I have to say I like the purple colors. It's basically like ShadowRock Beck. I love it. But as you can see, it will reflect off of walls here. And we'll also add the diagonal fire option so I can shoot down to kind of do this. There we go. And then you can kind of bounce things off walls. This is a very bad layout to show off this weapon, but there you go. It'll work a lot better in actual stages, especially in close quarters. But anyway, I have the on-screen bullets as 1, the method of fire is single fire, and I have the reflect option here. So this one has the most options for reflections in the game, the tracer option. So it has 5 reflections, so it can bounce around off of walls 5 times. And then you can select the angle that you want to, like 0. It will just go horizontally like that. You can do 45, so it goes up. You do negative 45, so it goes down. So you can do whatever you want. I keep it on 0 though. So then I have the speed is fast. Piercing is none, duration 5 seconds, dissipate, bullet, yeah, that, dissipate. And I have the small bullet size. You could make it bigger if you want to. So that works. Try to make the attack power as high as possible because in my number 9, this attack would automatically target enemies, but you can't really do that in this game. So yeah, it's pretty hard to recreate the exact functions of these weapons. But anyway, we have the analyzer element, and then of course, like I said, I do have the diagonal fire turned on, and it'll help you a lot, trust me. That's it though. So that's a quick look at our mighty number weapons here, our Rexelections as they're called. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and what kind of crazy weapon combinations have you come up with. I would like to hear those as well. But otherwise, it's been me, ShadowRock. Thank you so much for watching, and for more on Mighty Gunvolt Burst and Megaman, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX. Until next time, rock on.